Hello everyone. So let's start with the introduction to big data. So what is big data? So big data is nothing but basically when organizations grow, they are generating more and more data. As we know, like when the social media started booming, uh, like people across the globe were using the social media, and the amount of data like was generating was getting more. So anywhere where the data we have these following challenges, that is the volume of data, the velocity of data, and the variety. So volume is the more amount of data, and velocity is like the speed in which we are getting the data. So like social media, at each minute we get the data across the globe, and variety is like we get data in different formats. So we have JSON, and we have many unstructured and semi-structured formats. So this was a big data. So big data is just a problem, and so that's where Hadoop was introduced to solve this big data problem. So yeah, that's where we discussed data is getting generated in terabytes and petabytes. Three V's, that is volume, velocity, variety. Social media contributes significantly to the data generation, and we need a real-time data processing and high-speed computation. So for example, we have large amount of data and we want to process it. We want a distributed something where at the same time multiple processors can run on the same data. We should have some parallelism. So for that, that's where Hadoop was invented. So one of the other problems such as storage. So in traditional RDBMS, we can store huge amount of data, but again the storing cost increases in RDBMS. Again, if you want to fetch back the RDBMS data and perform joins on them, so it becomes little bit slower. And handling data in different formats. So we know that RDBMS basically supports structured and few semi-structured formats, but we know that in the field of data we have many different formats. We usually Many organization produces unstructured data, that's where we need RDBMS cannot handle such data. Then data is getting generated in high speed, and traditional RDBMS lacks real-time processing at speed. So, for example, you get data, and this data goes and stores in RDBMS. Again, you want to process that RDBMS data in real time. So, when you are trying to process that huge amount of data from RDBMS, it will take a lot of time because you are going to fetch it from the disk and then perform join. So this there is real-time processing is not possible at high speed. So that's where Hadoop comes into place. So Hadoop was introduced as a solution for the big data problem. Hadoop can store massive data sets on clusters of cheap machines. It is an open source, and it was developed by Duck Cutting, contributed by Yahoo, and then it was given to Apache and was open sourced. And so Hadoop is the solution. It is a framework which was developed, and it is open source, and Apache owns it. But again, when we have an open source tools, there are few organizations that try to provide the support. So for example, if your organization wants to use Hadoop and you face any issue in Hadoop, then you can't go back and put your comment in the community channel and wait for the reply. So you need some kind of support for any of the problem in such open source tools. So that's where Cloudera, Hortonworks, these are the enterprise editions which uses the same Hadoop. On top of that, they add their branding and they provide complete support on the Hadoop.